Now, without any more interruptions, let's begin with our sessions. Yesterday was about going viral in 2023, marketing transformations, and whatnot. But today we kick off our sessions with a panel discussion on the topic aggressive versus discrete marketing. What acts well for Gen Z? With Generation Z becoming an ever increasing share of the market, how does one reach out to this specific demographic? With a highly opinionated and picky generation, it can be difficult to know what works best, full-blown ads or subtle promotional messages. Get valuable insights on how to get your tone right while reaching out to Gen Zers with marketing experts Melissa Gutierrez, Head of Production and VP at Narrative Ads, Rick Orozco, CEO of Amped Lead Generations, Karina Vidal, co-founder and CEO of Citiskopes, and Jared Dalton, owner and CEO of the Jared Dalton Agency. Let's hear it for our panelists, everyone.
Hello, everybody. My name is Katherine Vidal, and I will be moderating this panel. I want to start off by saying thank you and good morning for everybody to be here. I hope you guys had a wonderful day yesterday, and let's get ready for round 2 of today's discussions. In this discussion, we'll explore understanding Gen Z, ways to engage with them, using intriguing content, or how to introduce new technologies such as AI to better understand what works best to reach Gen Z, whether it should be with aggressive marketing or indirect marketing. Do we have Gen Z in the house? No.
Parents of Gen Z. Yeah.
So I'm going to introduce our wonderful speakers. We have Melissa. She's the VP and Head of Production with Narrative Ads. Jared Dalton, founder and CEO of the Jared Dalton Agency. And we have Karina Vidal, co-founder and CMO of Citiskopes.
Okay. Well, the reason why I was asking if we have Gen Z is also to understand between all what a generation is first before we go to the panel of what works for them. So understanding the generation, this is a generation that was born or were in the middle of the recession of 2008. So according to the studies, it's a generation that always it's looking at zero risk in terms of making a purchase, right? So they will look through many other websites to see before they make a purchase, which is very interesting, right? They were part of the born of the iPhone in 2007. So I think that that's also something that will, mark a little bit the digital part of this generation. They're always they're used to the iPhones, they're used to the phones, right? They're also, as you see there, the study says before our generation will look for information from our parents. We had a question and we will ask our parents, our teachers, our mentors. This generation was born with the internet. So their heroes and the information was the internet. They will just get whatever question they had and they will just look it up, right? They were born in the moment of the YouTubers. And I think that that's very important for what we're gonna talk today because the YouTubers were all about and are all about sharing what is real, 20 minutes videos, blogging, what they're doing, what they're eating, what they're exercising, everything is about being real. Now you can see it many years after with Be Real, with Snapchat, with all the quick content. So I think that that's something that I wanted to point out before we start our panel because they were born in a Be Real world, right? And then, of course, as we have seen in the first day, the attention span is really short. If the attention span of millennials was 8 seconds, oh my God, 8 seconds for them is from 3 to 5 seconds. And the studies also say that the brains of the centennials are built differently, because if millennials, we can deal with 5 screens, centennials can deal with 8 screens at the same time. So like we're with a generation that is very fast, right? They're multitaskers, and they were not as like accommodating to a society that was craving for diversity. They already have diversity set. So for them, they ask diversity. They ask for like, okay, I want to see the diversity in the ads. I want to see real stuff. So I think that that's something that I wanted to like start our panel, understanding a little bit the generation to see what works for them.
Sorry. So Melissa, you and your company specialize in video marketing. What would you say works for Gen Z when talking about video strategies?
Well, as I said, for them, it's all about being real. So in my company, we do video strategies. We do TikTok, we do Snapchat, we do all the social media platforms. We do all the creative sponsor ads for our clients. And what we have seen with data, because we work creative based on data, is authenticity. Of course, what grabs attention, that we need to make sure that those first 3 seconds are very attention grabbing, but very like real. Like they don't want a marketer or an influencer talking about a product or reviewing a product, just saying everything that is right of the product. It's perfect, 10 out of 10, I love it, I would recommend. No. Give me something that they need to fix. That's Gen Z. With millennials, With millennials, we want to hear all the good things, and we're like, okay, boom, click, I'll buy it, right? For them, not. For them, everything perfect is too much and is not real, and you're selling to me. So they don't wanna see that you're selling to them, right? They wanna believe in that influencer because they're also giving some tips to the brand. They wanna be part of the creation of the brand. One of the things that I put there, they were raised with Kickstarters. So they were putting money, asking their parents to put money in some like singers, albums, like, I don't know, like companies that they believed on. So they're part of like the creation of companies, and that's how they feel. So their feedback and like that the influencer talks really real about the product works for them.
So is it safe to say that what works for Instagram can also work for TikTok and Snapchat?
No.
Can you go into that a little bit, please?
I do believe that each platform has its own magic. And another thing about Gen Z, I don't know if like you guys have, I have my sister and my brother are Gen Z, so like for me the topic is really close. They have at least 3 Instagram accounts. One is for the normal people, the family, like my mom, and the other one is the private, and they call it like that, private. And the other one is about interests. So if my brother likes soccer, he just makes an account for soccer. So like centennials are very, very, very like kind of like, for them it's familiar to like have these different channels for them to share different content, each of them. They're asking us to also be able to curate content depending on the platform. So if they can do it in their own, they're not marketers, they're expecting us to do different content for each platform. And also each platform works completely different. What works for Facebook doesn't work for TikTok because TikTok is about sound. So everything is with music. Facebook, we don't hear ads. We don't hear anything. We don't listen to like what we are seeing. So everything is pictures. So we cannot translate what we do on Facebook to TikTok to Snapchat to Be Real. That should be completely different.
That's interesting because as a millennial, I like putting the same content on everything.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay. Well, Jared, please tell us a little bit how we can engage useful audiences with intriguing content.
Yeah, so you gave some great points there, and I'm going to focus more on the content delivery and the type of content that you should actually put out there to grab the attention of Gen Z. Like she said, you really have to grab their attention. You got 3 seconds before they hit the next video, and it's so easy. All you have to do is tap the screen, and you get to a completely different account, a completely different video, and if you don't take advantage of that window, then this is what their face is like. And you lose them. So if you don't put in intriguing 3 seconds out there, you know, you miss the opportunity for them to be interested and find out more about your brand. Another brand is just a click away. Content that sells, Gen Z, so you need to be in the moment. Like she spoke about, they really want you to be real. So if you're in the moment, if you're sharing live videos of, if you're selling a product, maybe you are doing a live video of how you actually use the product. Maybe you're talking about how it's benefiting you in the moment. So they really want to be a part of your brand and really be able to see what's going on behind the scenes. Provocative content works very well, where, you know, the shock and awe factor, it's like, you know, the next viral video, or, oh my God, I can't believe I saw this. You know, if you put out content like that, that really grabs their attention, and you have that 3 seconds, that could turn into a few minutes where they're really going through your brand and checking out your values and seeing what you're all about, just because you had that one moment of like, oh my gosh, I really need to know about these folks. Interactive content is really great for Gen Z, where they can actually, you know, be a part of your brand. Maybe you are doing a poll, or maybe you're really getting feedback from them about how they feel, or you're getting them the opportunity to give you things you can improve for your brand. So if you really allow them to be a part of it and not just talk at them, I think you'll have more success. That goes along with compelling and innovative content. You know, when I grew up, we had pagers, and if I wanted to learn more about stuff, I had to go to the library and find a book and sit down and read. Well, they're used to asking Siri whatever they want to know. So for them, your content has to be really compelling, because, hey, if I want to know something, like, I could find it out in 5 seconds. I'm not going to do all the research and reading. Like, just tell me what's going on. Top 3 marketing methods to engage Gen Z users. I'll go through a few. 81% of Gen Z users prefer Instagram when interacting with brands. Instagram has a lot of features that, you know, make it very easy for Gen Z to make purchases, like Instagram Shop. You have your Instagram Reels, where you can use the music that they're listening to on the radio right now as part of your marketing efforts, and that will really grab their attention. Striking visuals. Memes are a big deal. My 10-year-old son actually comes to me and talks about the new memes that are out, and I don't even know how he's finding them right now, but he's very, very interested in them, and he'll...
websites that you can create them. That's crazy. Like, with your face, someone can be making a meme right now.
Well, hey, just make sure you tag me if you do. But the informative memes really do work. So it's like a fun way to introduce them to your brand and tell them a little bit more without trying to hard sell them, because that is the quickest way that you could lose a Gen Z person, is to try to hard sell them, because you're obviously up to something. Instructional reels, like I said, telling them how to use the product in a fun way. Maybe you're dancing, maybe there's music in the background, and you really make the product seem fun, because that's what they're out there for, to have fun. Trendy hashtags. A lot of Gen Z users do search hashtags to find out different things for different categories. So if you are posting content for Gen Z, make sure you have hashtags that relate, because they really do get on there and search with that. And I always like to say, keep it short, you know, so you're gonna lose them after a couple minutes of the videos. They're used to 15-second to 30-second TikToks in and out. So make sure you use content that's similar to that and put the information in there the best you can in a interactive, fun way for them. Video clips engage audiences up to 400% more than any other content. I would mention Facebook, but Gen Z isn't on there. So, you know, the typical stat is the photo, the meme, they're great, but video content really does engage them 400% more. And our Gen Z population definitely want to be able to relate to you and the product. It's not just about the actual product, it's about the entire brand. So what do you stand for? Are you inclusive of all audiences? Do you have values that align with mine? And they are more apt to support you even just for that. Like, you know, I'm spending money with a company that's doing good in the world, or they're helping change the world to be more like I wanted to see. So if you do that with Gen Z, you'll find a lot more success as well. And like she said, if it's perfect, it's obviously too good to be true. We all learned that. I don't think we follow it, but Gen Z does.
Clients don't like that.
They really don't. Yeah, so if your product, you know, take them on the journey of how you're upgrading your product. Give them the opportunity to say, hey, this didn't work well for me, and don't shy away from it. Really take that as an opportunity to learn and share with them, like, hey, I hear you. Now we're refining our methods, and we have a new, better product for you. And yeah, they'll go on that journey with you. Tell a story, show emotion. You know, they really want to see that from the people that are trying to sell to them. And yeah, select the right platform for Gen Z users. Like I said, if you're trying to reach Gen Z, Facebook is not the place to do it. I know we all love that platform. But yeah, you're gonna need to look at Instagram and TikTok to really, you know, reach those audiences, because that's where they're scrolling through. Keep the message short and make sure that you do relate to them.
So Jared, I'm sure you've had clients that are discouraged of using social media because they can't reach their audience. What advice would you give them when they're having that difficulty?
Yeah, so first we just need to define who the audience is. So if we can find out who you're trying to reach, then we could select which platform will work best for you. If you are, like we're talking about Gen Z, like I said, if you're looking for Gen Z, then, you know, we'll put our efforts more into Instagram, more into TikTok, more into Snapchat, where we know that they are. But yeah, if you're having problems like that, I just tell my clients to hire us and let us do the hard work for you.
When clients come to you and say, I don't have much time for marketing, what advice can you give them?
Well, make the time, or hire somebody like my agency. But you really have to produce the content. Advertising is great, you know, that works very well, but for Gen Z, they really need to be able to follow that content and go on that journey with you. So, you know, maybe you take a couple hours out of the week and you just schedule time like, hey, this is my content time. I'm gonna take pictures, I'm gonna do videos, I'm gonna do some drops about my company, and then, you know, schedule it out and make sure you get that out to the public. Or, you know, you could hire my agency and we're gonna just take care of it for you, and you could get that time back to focus on your other duties.
You're a great sales guy.
All right, well, thank you, Jared, for this information. So we've learned how to use social media to engage Gen Z. Let's learn how technology will take over in this space. Karina, if you can let us know more about technology and AI.
Yeah, so definitely everything Jared and Melissa said, it's like pretty accurate, straight to the point. And I think something that we can pick out from what they said is that a lot of Gen Z people, they're looking for trust. They're looking for the ability to be able to connect with your brand. And the most important thing as marketers that we know is that we need to build that relationship out of trust. And not that relationship out of come here and just like buy this thing, like really understanding the need that they have. Similar to what Jared said, in terms of his agency, if you guys don't have that time, he needs to build that trust so you guys can allow him to actually have his agency put out the content that he understands Gen Z needs, because he's built that trust and understanding that market. So I just want to talk a little bit more about how this trust in AI actually works. And before anyone thinks about it, AI seems like a technology that's so far-fetched that a lot of like technological people need to work with, but it's actually something tangible that we can utilize in marketing and utilize that as a medium to connect with Gen Z, build that relationship. So just going a little bit further, Gen Z is already communicating with a lot of AI. And AI, we're thinking about robots, we're thinking about some communication, where something is understanding us and spitting back some information. But just to put it back in the most simplest terms, Gen Z is using Google. Google is an AI. They have brain machine. Every time we put in a query to ask a question that's human-like, there is a response we're getting back from brain machine that is finding our questions, searching for our questions to give us an answer. This is an AI technology that Google is utilizing. And taking it further, we have conversational bots. We've all been on a website where we get onto a website and we see this little robot, a little chat that pops up and says, hey, how are you doing? Do you have any questions? Gen Z communicates with these bots very often. And moving away from bots when they're doing their buying experience and bringing it back to that cell phone device that they're using, when they talk to Siri, when they talk to Cortana, when they talk to Alexa, they're using a conversational bot that is AI built to really understand, what do you want to know? Do you want to know what the day is? They're going to tell you what the weather is. This is a technology which is AI that we probably don't think it is, but it really is. And again, Gen Z is utilizing this all the time. They're even asking their own cell phones to call their mom, rather than what we would do, go into our cell phone and find whoever you want, call and text. And then taking it even a little bit further, these tests that they love, I don't know if you guys have heard it, but I, like Melissa, I also have a Gen Z sister who is constantly telling me every week, I am an IFGGAK, I am a DEFO. And I'm like, great. Yes. I thought this thing was done once. And she's like, no, it changes all the time. But these type of tests that they like is also built with AI, like conceptualizing the concept of artificial intelligence. It's really being able to have a machine spit some type of communication right back to you. So even these type of tests where they go in and they're able to take this test and all of a sudden something is generated to create a profile of who they are, it is an AI, and that is building trust, because Gen Z tends to take this information and say, wow, it identifies with me, it understands me. And for that reason, I think this is accurate. Even if next week or tomorrow in 2 hours it changes, I trust this test. I trust this medium. And talking about that, we go into the 3 pillars of trust. For trust, 3 pillars of trust that we need is ability, benevolence, and also integrity. In terms of AI, what this is already doing is being able to give people the response they're looking for. So it has the ability to be able to take in information and give an information right back, similar to how humans do it. Whether it's a nod of a head, whether it's yes, or whether we get super far-fetched into AI, where it's actually now trying to listen to your pulse. I think this is way far for marketers right now. But listening to your pulse and actually being able to see the eyes dilating, it has an ability to understand and connect with you. In terms of communication, it needs to be trustworthy. It needs to be able to communicate to solve a problem or a need that this person, specifically Gen Z, needs. And of course, the integrity, that is not going to lead you into some course or path that's misleading. It's not going to show you, like we talk a lot about, yesterday there was a comment about the AI to create blogs for you. These AIs to create blogs are amazing, they're great. They're something to get you thinking in that process of how to communicate with Gen Z. However, they can be misleading where they do bait clicks. And as they've mentioned, Jared and Melissa, Gen Z is not into things like that because they're catching it much faster than we did when it was first introduced. So that type of AI are things to steer away from, because if you do a bait click ad, they're not going to respect your company and all of a sudden are going to assume that your company is not trustworthy. And this is where AI definitely plays a great role in being discreet, because indeed AI is a discrete marketing channel. These conversations that they're having, these interactions with these AIs is a communication or interaction that's not clearly saying, come into my website and purchase this. Is actually conversating to understand, what is it that you need? How can I help you? Do you want to know what the day is like? Let me tell you the weather so you can trust me in terms of what clothes you can put on. And it goes much more further into that. So just some quick stats I wanted to bring up in terms of understanding how Gen Z communicates with the digital landscape. So some of the thing is that digital to them is crucial. 60% of them are willing to take in the interaction that they see online before in person. And whether that is with a business or whether that's with a person, we've heard so many kids before where they say, oh, I'm going to, like the cancel culture, where it's like someone says something wrong online, this is a negative person, we have to cancel them. But this person might be an amazing person, a philanthropist, and all of a sudden said one wrong thing, and that's it. That's the digital landscape that they care for in terms of like, that's their first impression they're going to see, because it's the most fastest, readily available impression they have, and later they'll figure it out in person. In terms of multitasking, they are the generation that multitask all the time. So Melissa brought up that they're using like 8 different platforms. They have different social media accounts that they're engaging with 3 accounts. To me, that's bewildering. It's wild. I can barely do one social media. But even with that, it's something that's seen, like, again, going back to my little sister, I've seen her clean her room with her beats around her neck, listening to music, and also have her FaceTime with her friend having a conversation as her friend is watching her clean. And I'm like, this is wild. Why can't you just call her, put the phone down, finish cleaning, and then she's like, no, because I'm cleaning my room and I want to hear music, but I also want to have a conversation with my friend. I'm like, okay, great. And then in terms of like the digital communication, they're more willing to speak to customer service rep through a chat. And they're more willing to go through those endless numbers of how can I help you, press 1, press 2, press 3, to be like, I'm satisfied, I got my answer, I am out. And that information that I'm bringing to you guys is more to let you understand how this digital landscape converts to their real life. It's not that they're 100% keen on technology, it's the fact that they want that same human conversation they would have in person with the technology that they're using. Technology in no way is replacing that, which is the reason why AI is a good component for you guys to have, whether it's a chat box, to have that conversation and build that relationship. There was another study conducted that stated that they did a test with Gen Z, male and female, who have children. So their kids may be 2 or 3 year old. I think something astonishing when I read that study is that the males who have children, they tend to spend more time digitally talking to their friends. And then in person, they spent almost the same amount of time and felt satisfied that they saw their friends a good, ample time to communicate and build that relationship outside of technology. As for the women with the kids, they spent significantly less time on technology such as social media, but they felt the need that they wanted to see their friends and wanted to spend more time with them in person. So there's a direct correlation in terms of the increase in technology uses such as social media to connect with friends, and another increase in terms of how they're spending time outside with their friend. So this is all to say, this type of communication and trust is something that they're seeking from companies and individuals, whether online or not. That digital presence, again, is very important. So we can get ahead of the curve and actually communicate with them, whether fostering that relationship with an AI bot or using something like Drift. Drift is a great bot. It's something that you can actually create branches to communicate with them. So just, again, to take away, is a great tool to use AI and discrete marketing, because it seems to be the type of things that Gen Z is looking for. They don't want hardcore, aggressive type of marketing, whether it's an ad, whether it's on social media. They want something to be implicit. They want to feel that they trust you to click on this link and continue that journey of either purchasing something, doing a conversion for a meeting. They want to feel that they have that type of trust. And in terms of like how you guys can start incorporating AI to do that, you can build that trust with a discrete nurtures, because indeed that's what an AI is. Instead of doing the email nurtures where we have to wait 2 weeks later, send this email, 3 weeks later, send this email, or click on this link, send this content, that nurture is right then and there. It's being hosted within your CRM. You can have that conversation to later come back later and create a longer journey for them, but it's a journey of trust. There is another study again, because I love studies, but there's another study again that said that Gen Z are willing to forgive a company for doing something that they disagree with. Whether it's a company that unfortunately kills animals for their furs, if they make that mistake, Gen Z is willing to connect with them and forgive them about 70% just because they had built trust with that company. Compared to not having that trust, being with a company that is aggressive, that its main focus is ROI. If they have this company that's willing to take a step back and really understand what their need is and then navigate them to solving that problem, whether it's with your technology or, whether it's with your product offer or service, as long as you can solve that problem, leading them to it where they feel that they're not being pushed or rushed into purchasing something, they will stay consistent and loyal to you. And then just ensuring that you're solving their problem and that you're relatable. If you do decide to move forward with some sort of AI technology for your business, just ensure that it is solving that problem. Ensure that it has the opportunity to have branches, like logic branches, that you can actually type in, or have the machine be scalable enough to be able to understand and use that data to solve their problems. So this is where I end.
Thank you, Karina, for sharing that information. Since AI has been around for a while, and I guess more marketers are, understanding how to use it, how fast do you believe marketers can adapt this?
Oh, I think it's pretty fast. Again, like, we don't have to go through the whole AI understanding humanoid where we're creating this robot to understand the information that's coming out. I just think something as simple as a chat box is definitely useful. If you want to use even there's AIs that can even create graphics for you guys right now. Being able to actually describe what you want and have it create that image, that's something that even if you use, I think it's Canva, they're utilizing that. So these AI features are accessible to you guys to build and foster that relationship. In terms of where it's going, Bank of America is already implementing their AI bot called Erica for customer service. For Gen Z, finance tends to be a tough topic for them just because their family has grown up through the 2008 housing market, and then moving forward even now with the potential collapse. For them, that's also a tough topic, and we have a lot of finance industries right now that are creating AIs to be able to understand when they're about to overdraft. So these are little type of technologies that do include AI, but again, it's building that trust. I think that's the most important part when you want to implement a new technology or an AI, is to let it nurture for you. Let it build that trust, so that way your brand has a stronger integrity in how it communicates with Gen Z, and of course, to just reconnect with them.
Great, thank you. So we have time for 2 or 3 questions. Does anybody have any questions out there? No? All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys. We appreciate all the information. I'm glad that we have a better understanding of how to communicate with Gen Z. So now it's up to you guys to decide whether you want to go the discreet way or the aggressive way to reach this new, this market for the next generation.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.